Hello, algebra students, and welcome to Mrs. Bandu's Math Movies. This is lesson 2-4, the distributive property. In this lesson, we will be using the distributive property and we will be simplifying algebraic expressions. Okay, so first off, let's start with the distributive property. The distributive property tells us that for every real number a, b, and c, a times the quantity b plus c is equal to a times b plus a times c. Or basically a gets distributed to each term within the parentheses. Here with subtraction, a times the quantity b minus c gives you the result of ab minus ac. Here that factor is behind the set of parentheses, but it is still the same. The quantity b plus c times a is equal to ba plus ca. So again, the a being distributed to each term within. Here, ba minus ca. Again, the a being distributed to each term within the parentheses. Okay, here are some numerical examples. If I have 5 times the quantity 20 plus 6, of course I know you could do 20 plus 6, but that's not what we're trying to illustrate here. We're trying to illustrate the distributive property. So that would give me 5 times 20 plus 5 times 6. If I distribute it here, that would give me 20 times 5 plus 6 times 5. The next one, 9 times 30 minus, notice there's a minus here, so I'm going to have a minus here. I'll subtract the products, 9 times 2. And 30 times 9 minus 9, 2 times 9, if I want to do it correctly. Okay. And of course, we could simplify even further then. This is just the actual distributing process itself. Neither of these is in simplest form yet. So remember, if you are asked to simplify using the distributive property, this is your intermediate step. Your final answer would be to simplify as much as possible. All right, a term is a number, a variable, or the product of a number and one or more variables in an algebraic expression. Okay. Again, a term is a number, a variable, or the product of a number and one or more variables in an algebraic expression. A constant is a term that has no variable. So a constant is a term that has no variable. Okay, so the number 5 is a constant. Pi is a constant. They have no variables attached. A coefficient is a numerical factor of a term. Okay, so we'll put a quick little example here. If I have the expression 5d, or the term 5d, 5 is the coefficient. Okay, and finally, like terms are terms that have exactly the same variable factors. So 5xy and 17xy would be like terms because they both have variable factors of x and y. But 5x and 7y are not, because 5 has a variable factor of x, 7 has a variable factor of y. They are not exactly the same. Okay. Alrighty. Our first example is simplifying a numerical expression. Find the cost of 4 CDs that cost $12.99 each. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use a bit of the distributive property here. So we're going to rewrite $12.99 as 13 minus 1/100th, or 1 cent. So I know I need to multiply 4 times $12.99, so I'm going to make this 4 times 13 minus 1/100th. I'm going to distribute 4 times 13 and 4 times 0.01. 4 times 13 is 52, and 4 times 1 cent is 4 cents, or 0.04. Subtract those, and that gives me $51, or 51.96. So the total cost of the 4 CDs is $51.96. Okay, I know most of the time you will say that you are going to have your phone available or a calculator or something else, and I can't argue with that, but still you should understand how to apply the distributive property, and this you'll be expected to be able to do something like this in math class. Okay, example number 2, simplifying an expression. If we want to simplify 3 times the quantity 4m minus 7, we will distribute the 3 to each term within the parentheses. So that's going to give us 3 times 4m minus 3 times 7. Here, 3 times 4m is 12m. I just multiply the 3. Oh my heavens, you can't see that, and my apologies. Let me start over. If we want to simplify 3 times the quantity 4m minus 7, we're going to multiply 3 times 4m and 3 times 7, and we're going to subtract using the distributive property, or use the subtraction symbol in there. Okay, so 3 times 4m is 12m minus 3 times 7 is 21. I stopped there because these are not like terms. 12m and the constant 21 do not have exactly the same variable, so I need to stop right there. That's as simple as I can go at this point in time. So 12m minus 21 is the simplified expression. Now, using the multiplication property of -1, simplify the opposite of the quantity 5q minus 6. Basically, what this truly means is that we will multiply the expression by each term in that expression by -1. So this is a shorthand way of writing the factor -1. Okay, so what that tells me is that this really means -1 times the quantity 5q minus 6. So -1 times 5q minus -1 times -6. Oops, positive 6. All right, so -1 times 5q is -5q. And I have minus the opposite of 6, or minus -6, which gives me 6. So the simplified form here is -5q plus positive 6. Okay, you have a few quick checks here, but never fear, there are a couple of more examples as well. So let's continue with those at this time. Again, you decide how you want to work your quick checks, either all at the end or pause and work as you go. All right, simplify -2w squared plus w squared. Okay, so we're going to use the distributive property here. because each has a common term of w squared in them, we can factor that out. So this is going to leave me negative 2, and this is an understood 1 w squared. So negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Okay, so that actually gives me negative 1 times w squared. Now truly, we just write negative w squared because again, generally we're not going to leave it this way. We're going to write it a little bit simpler where we just have the negative sign in front of the w squared. Okay, and finally, write an expression for the product of negative 6 and the quantity 7 minus m. Remember, the quantity 7 minus m means that the 7 minus m is in a set of parentheses. So I have negative 6 times the quantity 7 minus m. So the answer or the expression is negative 6 times the quantity 7 minus m. Looks like this. Okay, we keep saying the same thing. That's how it looks. Okay, so you have a few more quick checks on this page. Please have the quick checks for this section done by the next time we meet in class. I'll see you then.